In the fast-paced world we live in, it often feels like things are beyond our control. We constantly juggle work, relationships, and personal expectations. But Buddhism offers us a different perspective, a way to find peace amid the chaos. Today, we're going to explore 6 Buddhist principles that, when applied, can help you stay centered and unshaken, no matter what life throws your way. Buddhism teaches us that happiness isn't found in external things, but within ourselves. By understanding the deeper truths of life, we can better navigate our emotions, desires, and attachments. These 6 principles are like guiding lights, showing us how to create peace in our hearts and minds. As we dive into these principles, think about how each one can be applied to your own life. Let these teachings become practical tools you can use to improve your daily well-being. Ready to explore this wisdom? Let's begin. Principle 1, Impermanence, Anicca. The first principle we'll explore is impermanence. The concept of impermanence, known in Buddhism as anicca, teaches us that everything in life is constantly changing. Whether it's the seasons, our relationships, or even our own thoughts and feelings, nothing stays the same forever. You might have experienced a time when you felt stuck in a difficult situation, thinking it would never end. But then, it changed. Situations improve, and challenges fade away. The very nature of life is transformation. When we accept that nothing is permanent, we can approach life with a lighter heart, knowing that all things, both good and bad, are temporary. Think about how impermanence shows up in your own life. Maybe it's the ebb and flow of your emotional state, or how your goals and dreams evolve over time. One important practice is to let go of the fear of loss and change. Instead of clinging to moments, embrace the beauty of their fleeting nature. This can create a deep sense of freedom. Example, imagine a beautiful sunset. You know it won't last forever, but you still appreciate its beauty in the moment. Similarly, by embracing the transient nature of life, we can experience deeper joy without worrying about what will or won't last. Principle 2, Non-attachment, Aparigraha. The second principle we'll dive into is non-attachment, or aparigraha. In Buddhism, attachment refers to our tendency to cling to things, whether it's physical possessions, relationships, or even our own identity. This attachment creates suffering, because nothing in life is guaranteed. We can lose things we love, and this loss can lead to pain and frustration. Non-attachment doesn't mean we stop caring about people or things, it means we learn not to hold on too tightly. We practice appreciation without possessiveness. It's about living freely and letting go of the idea that we need things to be a certain way to be happy. One of the most effective ways to practice non-attachment is through mindfulness. When we become aware of our desires and cravings, we can choose not to act on them. For example, think about how often we want more possessions, more success, more praise. These desires can create a constant sense of lack. By acknowledging them and letting them pass, we create space for contentment. Example, consider a person who has a cherished possession, like a book or an heirloom. Instead of being afraid of losing it, they can focus on the joy it brings in the present. If the object is lost, they won't be devastated, because they realized the attachment to it was the true source of suffering, not the object itself. Principle 3, the middle way, Madhyama Pratipad. The third principle is the middle way. This principle emphasizes balance in all areas of life. The middle way teaches us to avoid extremes, whether it's excessive indulgence or harsh self-denial. We need to find moderation, a balanced approach to everything we do. For example, in our modern lives, we often face the temptation of extreme behavior, overworking, overindulging in food, or pushing ourselves too hard to achieve success. The middle way offers us a path that avoids both indulgence and excessive restriction. It's about living a life of balance, finding joy in simple things without overindulging. A great example of this is food. Many people either overeat or restrict themselves to extreme diets. The middle way invites us to eat mindfully, appreciating food for nourishment and pleasure, without going to extremes. It's not about denying ourselves the things we enjoy, but about having the wisdom to enjoy them in moderation. Principle 4, Compassion, Karuna. The fourth principle is compassion, or karuna. Compassion is the foundation of Buddhist ethics. It means feeling empathy for others and acting to alleviate their suffering. When we cultivate compassion, we connect with the suffering of others and develop a deep desire to help. Think about how often you hear of someone struggling, and your heart goes out to them. That is the essence of compassion, being moved by others' suffering and taking action, whether through small gestures or larger acts of kindness. Research in psychology shows that when we act with compassion, we not only help others, but we also experience joy. Helping others reduces stress and increases our sense of purpose. Compassion can take many forms: listening to a friend in need, offering a kind word to a stranger, or even donating time or money to a cause. The key is to act with the intention of easing suffering. Example: imagine you're walking down the street and you see someone struggling with heavy bags. Stopping to help them might seem like a small action, but it creates a ripple of kindness. That simple act of compassion can change someone's day, and it also nurtures your own heart. Principle 5, Mindfulness, Sati. Mindfulness, or Sati, is the fifth principle we'll explore. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in our thoughts and worries, but mindfulness brings us back to the present, where life is truly happening. By practicing mindfulness, we can cultivate a deeper awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. We stop living on autopilot and become more engaged in life. This practice can reduce stress, enhance emotional regulation, and improve our overall well-being. You can practice mindfulness in simple ways, like focusing on your breath as you inhale and exhale, paying attention to the sensations in your body, or noticing the beauty around you. Even everyday tasks like washing dishes or eating can become moments of mindfulness. Example: try a simple mindfulness exercise: sit quietly for 5 minutes, paying attention to each breath. When your mind wanders, gently guide it back to the breath. This simple practice helps train your mind to stay present, and over time, it can make you feel calmer and more focused. Principle 6, Acceptance, Santosa. Finally, the principle of acceptance, or Santosa, teaches us to embrace life as it is. Acceptance means we stop fighting against reality, stop wishing things were different, and stop resisting the flow of life. When we accept things as they are, we stop creating unnecessary suffering for ourselves. This doesn't mean we have to like everything that happens, it means we stop resisting. It's about accepting things without judgment and finding peace in the present. Whether it's a challenging situation, an uncomfortable emotion, or an unexpected change, acceptance helps us let go of frustration and find peace. Example: if you're stuck in traffic, instead of getting frustrated, you can accept the situation. You can choose to listen to music or a podcast, use the time to relax, or simply notice your surroundings. This shift in perspective brings peace in the moment, reducing stress. As we reflect on these 6 principles: impermanence, non-attachment, the middle way, compassion, mindfulness, and acceptance, we can see how they serve as guiding lights in our lives. By embracing these teachings, we don't just cope with life, we begin to live it more fully. We find peace in the midst of chaos, and joy in the simplicity of the present moment. I encourage you to start integrating these principles into your life, even if it's just one at a time. Remember, small steps can lead to big changes. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from this wisdom. Together, we can build a more mindful, compassionate world. Thank you for joining me today. May you find peace on your journey.